Yeah. Yeah. Have you got any Down syndrome girls there? Yeah. Oh, no way. Yeah. No, it's just something yeah. Yeah. All right, I'll come over. A bit later. Hi, my name's Chris Dangerfield and welcome to my... Look at the gusto I've gone with there. My name's Chris Dangerfield. But it's true, it is. And welcome to my channel. If you haven't already subscribed, can you do that? Because at the moment I look like a prat. I'd rather you do that than watch the video, to be honest. And just press the button and I don't care. Because that's more important. It's not more important than the show. Right, have you ever wanted to speak to dead people? Of course you have. Imagine, it would be amazing. Imagine all the people from history you could speak with. Jesus is obvious, Hitler's obvious, Muhammad would be a mad one. Freud, I'd quite like to speak to Freud. Karl Marx would be a good one. All sorts of people. Imagine it was someone you loved. You'd be like, nah. You know, I miss them and that, but, you know, perhaps. Maybe that's just me. Anyway, my cold seems to be going, which is nice. Seems to be going on for fucking ages. Like decades. Anyway, back to the dead people. This is Crystal Ann Compton. And she does a show about her talking to dead people. And halfway through it appears she just thought, fuck it, I'll tell everyone how to do it. Which is fair enough. It's quite a skill to have. Hit it!
Hey everybody, Crystal Ann Compton here, and in this video we're going to be talking about how you can talk to dead people. This is a good one, so stay tuned.
It's a fair point. I mean, that's some claim. This is a good video. Probably one of the most important documents in history if she can pull it off. Go on, speak.
So many people have lost people that they've loved, and they want to get into contact with that person,
and it's those people, isn't it? See, I made jokes about people you'd love, but she's happy to just go, you've lost people, so you invest in it. It's like, if you don't admit it, in some way, if you don't admit it, you're sort of wrong. If you sort of go, well, I haven't never thought about it, it's like, oh, that makes you a bit of a cunt. So it's like, oh yeah, that's me. Which is sort of weird. Speak.
they want to communicate with them, and they want to know that they are actually communicating with them. And so that's what we're going to be talking about in this video.
I reckon quite a lot of people have got like a desire, a want to communicate with someone they've lost. You know, questions they'd ask and things they'd say they never got to say. But I think there's some leap from people who want to do that and people who actually are going to try and do that. You know, I think it's part of missing someone. Like even someone who's alive, you're like, oh shit, I wanted to tell so-and-so about that. But, you know, you don't do it because that's very different. I am like the vampire of making no sense, and I have sucked the blood from logic and reason. I don't care, it's too late to worry. It's only a laugh, son. Enjoy the bloody video and shush it.
And I'm going to use myself as an example because I've talked about this in many videos, how I in fact lost my mom a few years ago. And
you know what, every time she keeps closing her eyes like that, she is going to use herself as an example because she's the dead person she's going to talk to. Watch, when she closed her eyes, you could imagine she was not of the living.
That was for me.
Such a slow wink. Sorry to talk over her, but she's just telling you how painful it was that she lost someone. Obviously, that's where all this insanity come from. She sat there going, I can't deal with this. I need a solution. She thought, what's the solution? Talk to them. And then she'll
couldn't wait.
Shut up. And then she'll interpret it. I haven't watched this. She'll interpret it through some sort of weird things, like, you know, that, oh, you know, I get this sensation all over me, and I think, oh yeah, they're near me. It's like just goosebumps. It's just goosebumps. And then you say to her, well, yeah, but I get that. She goes, yeah, that's because the spirits of your loved ones are walking among you and breezing past you. It's weird, isn't it, what people do to deal with, you know, some hideous things. You know, you never win this game, you're going to die. And she can't hack it, I don't think this is so much about people who've died, it's about her not wanting to die. Yes, I considered the case, and after thorough investigation, that's what I concluded. Speak!
For my mom to return and give me an evidence or to show me that she was around me, before she even died, we made a pact. And we both agreed
that if you died and you could communicate, knock twice. If you can't, knock once. There you go. It's not mine, but in this little square, I own everything.
whoever went first had to make whatever attempt necessary in order to come back into the person left behind, into their space, into their world, and let them know that they were there.
Right, so check it. She's made a pact with her mum. What do you reckon? How do you reckon her mum gave her a signal? All the things she can do. I wonder what it was.
And so it didn't take long for my mom to give me that evidence, but in the interim, as I waited for her to show me that she was there, I talked to her all the time.
She talked to no one all the time. No proof or evidence. She was just gibbering away to a dead person. Fine, but no one was listening.
Here's how I did it. First and foremost, what you want to do is think intently about the person that you've lost or about the dead person in question. So I would think about my mom.
So remember them.
I would go back into memories and I would feel that activation in my heart. I loved her. I missed her. That energy of love created an actual channel, like a cord.
Then you respond emotionally to the memories, which is nice. But then she's gone forward a little. Made a bit of a jump here to some cord, the spinal cord of death.
Extended from me all the way into the ether to wherever she was, dimensionally speaking.
These people are brilliant, just throwing around those terms. Yep, and that went into the ether. You know, the ether. Wherever she was, dimensionally speaking, just throw away, just like, oh, who won the football? Speak, Crystal Ann Compton.
And it signaled her. It's like a phone call of sorts. Like you're actually ringing up the person who has crossed into the other side and asking them to come and to interact with you.
Break on through to the other side, yeah. Do you remember when you were a teenager and you thought Jim Morrison was excellent? Do you remember the precise hour in your life when you thought, oh man, that bloke, that's way embarrassing behaviour for an adult. Oh no, I am not the man I used to be. Straight out of Crystal Ann Compton.
What the dead person on the other side actually does is it utilizes this cord, this channel that you've created through the intense feelings of your love. It utilizes that to travel back to you and enter into your physical space.
Just absolute nonsense. Thing is, they set this up so that if you question it, you'll be at fault and you'll be lacking. They'll be like, yeah, you've never felt it. You haven't done what's necessary to communicate with the ether world. And they'll say it nicely. They'll be like, but you can. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. Fall in love.
So anytime I'm thinking about my mom, anytime I'm calling my mom, I know that within moments, she is going to be in my physical space.
She's barking mad. The woman is barking mad. Listen to what she's saying. It's not real. She has no evidence. None. She wants it desperately. Don't tolerate these people. Absolutely. They're everywhere as well. I'll be out with some mates in a pub and someone I don't know will be there. I'll get introduced to them. Half a lager down. They're talking madness. Just stuff they've made up. Stuff they're guessing at. Stuff they heard once and went, yep, that's what I think too. Don't let them. This madness, crystals, all that hippie shit. First of all, that's got to go first. That's just getting rid of the cobwebs. Before you even get to clean the shit off this culture, this is just getting the trash out the way. Come on, you lot. Come on, enough of that nonsense. All of that. Any single thing you can engage with financially in a head shop has got to go. That is the criteria. Because that puts something at a real important nexus that we need to get the fuck out of here. Always there's a wallet in the background. We've got spells. There was a head shop in my hometown. My hometown was like predominantly sort of sportswear wearing white, working class, but loads of ones who didn't work and took so many drugs and sold drugs and talked about drugs, mental people. Yeah, quarter of Derv and an eighth of sulphate. That's like £15 on Thursday. I'm done till Monday. That's my weekend sorted. Seriously, that's 3/4 of that population. And his head shop appeared. His name was John. He had a big long beard. He was only about 4 foot tall, like a proper sort of like a, you know, like a goblin. And one of his Middle-earthers. Probably thought he was, probably looked in the mirror. When he was a teenager, he was obviously very aware of it. And then when all that hippie stuff started getting popular in the second summer of love in 88, here we go, happy Mondays, he suddenly thought, hang on, I can sell this midget, tiny, weak, frail man with sunken eyes at 30. I can turn this into a look. I can become a, you know, like one of those sort of goblin men. You see them at festivals with their massive beards and all their sort of weird tattoos and their potions. Just slap them. And if they go, hey, what are you doing? Just go, Chris Dangerfield went, no, get off, hippie. I don't tolerate it. I'm not having it. No. I had one tell me off once because I was feeding a spastic in an electronic wheelchair a pipe. He came over and went, you think that's part of the good spirit of this festival? And I went, what, you think denying him drugs because he's in a wheelchair? And then he tried to pretend it was about something else. It was weird, and even the spaz was like looking at him and just go, yeah, fuck off, Merlin. Oh, we travelled. I moved it. Hang on, we'll get back to All Straight Outta Compton in a minute. My point being, she's nuts. And the other point being, hippies have made this stuff. They've normalised this kind of madness. You know, it's just in our culture now. Just accept it. Look at her, look. Librarian or something, I don't know, works in something. That was a good guess. Works in something. Jobber. Look at my observational comedy ability. Got a job. See what I've done with it though? Real comic ability. Let's go back to Straight Out of Compton.
Face. Now, if you're somebody who can't really see energy or can't see spirits, or if you're somebody who's just starting out working with your intuitive abilities, you might not be able to tell when the dead person is actually in your physical environment.
Notice how she puts the two options. If you just can't do it, or if you're a beginner, listen to me, learn from me, just listen to what I fucking say, because you'll be able to do it, because it's a blag, it's not real, it's delusion, and anyone can teach themselves to delude themselves. Speak.
If you continue to do this and work with this type of communication, you'll begin to have a sense of what the deceased person's energy feels like, and you'll begin to know when they're there. And sometimes
you'll put so much energy and time into this nonsense and listen to this shit over and over again until it's like a mantra in your head that you'll start interpreting normal physical symptoms and feelings as the dead person tapping you upon the shoulder to wake you up and say, I still love you, Kathy.
Make sounds or flash the lights.
Oh, she actually went there. Part of talking to dead people is they'll flash the lights to let you know they're around. Why? If they can do that, which involves one or two things, either moving a switch up and down or turning electricity on and off. If they can turn electricity on and off, do it with a computer keyboard. Make it write something like, all right there. Yeah, it's me, you old dead me, I'm right here, you cheeky cunt. You know, not like, no, because that's almost quite common. We've probably all seen it once. And if you're already a believer, you'll be like, oh my God, thank you, Arthur, for coming back. Jesus.
Or give you a smell, a fragrance to remind
you might smell something once and you'll be missing them and you'll think, oh, Gladys.
Remind you of them, just to show you that they are there. Once they're there, how do you talk to them?
It's a fair question. I mean, I'd be worried about sitting around in public and suddenly smelling them and go, oh, hang on, that's the smell of death right there. Crystal Ann Compton told me, okay, how do I go about chatting here? Because people around me might think, hang on, and I'll go, it's all right, I see dead people.
Well, how do you talk to anybody, honestly? Because what dead people are are people who have died. That's it. They're
In case you weren't aware, dead people are people that have died. That's it.
still people.
Still people. Ooh, like with all those maggots in them, and those skulls, all in the flames, all still people.
They have retained their essence, their personality, their intelligence, their
Essence, personality, and intelligence. They've maintained all of that. Wow, she's mental, barking mad. But you know what? She'll sit among non-believers, and they won't think anything of it. They'll think, oh, you know, well, you know what old Crystal's like with her chatting with the devil. You know, they'll just be alright with it, and they'll listen at dinner parties, and be like, wow. What, and you actually hear what they say? And this one, after a couple of glasses of wine, it won't be light switching off. She'll be going, oh yeah, it's like imagine having an angel cuddling you and just whispering in your ear saying, you're so fucking special. Whilst cupping your balls or strapping the labia. And people would be just like, wow. Would you like some more peas, Bernard?
memories. And so just as you would talk to me in a room, you want to begin talking to your deceased loved one. And you need to believe in your heart, because it's true, that they are there with you. Because they are there with you, and
they're not there with you. But if you think and believe it enough, look straight into belief. There you go. No evidence required. You don't need to feel anything. Just convince yourselves they're there. And in a way, if you're alright with self-delusion, that's alright. If you can convince yourself that your dead lover's with you, that's going to sort of get you through. But you've got to maintain it. And if that comes crashing down, you'll be losing them for a second time. Ooh, I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? I don't like to judge people. I don't like to judge how she's dealt with it. I've had death in my family. Very, very close, painful death. I dealt with it almost certainly up in the 10% of worse ways. For a sustained period as well. So maybe if I'd have just saw dead people.
they are often there with you. Talk to them, have a normal conversation, and if you want them to produce evidences for you to validate that they're there, ask them for that.
No, I'm sorry, I was being too shiftless. It's just bullshit. It's just bullshit. You're not allowed to get away with it. You know, you call this shit out. Where did I go then? I wonder what part of me then just went, oh no, you know, I mean, if it gets you through the night. Were you thinking, oh, hang on, that's a bit weird. Were you thinking that? So I saved it. We're all right. Just don't worry. Got myself back on track.
Keep in mind that it can take some time for a spirit who is crossed to figure out how to work in the material world, because they have to gather energy, harness energy, express energy in order to make any sort of phenomenon happen in our environment. It's actually quite difficult for them. So if you want them, though, to do something like that, ask them. And typically they'll begin to work at that point to figure out how they can do that. And when they first present to you, it's usually kind of subtle. Again, you'll begin to read the energy and know that they're there.
You'll be prepared to trick yourself more because it ain't happening and you put too much effort into it and you're fucking desperate.
Sometimes they'll flash electrical
Jesus Christ again.
lights, or they'll flash, they'll turn something on or turn something off.
If they can turn things on and off, just pick up a pencil. Look at her face, straight out the tomb. If you put if you put like a lawn around her and like earth coming up and a tombstone behind her, look. Is it just me?
Sometimes they'll even make sounds.
No more. No. Knock, knock, knock. Oh, really? Look at her face. Hysterical woman. Look at the one eye slightly closed. Look, always an inch away from her like a weird tick. I'm sorry, Crystal Compton, you're barking mad. I'll put a link to the whole video in my description. Subscribe to me. Or subscribe to me. Bye.